is probably like, dude, you know who's the fault of this is? The fault of that money getting siphoned off? It's immigrants, bro. Immigrants are the problem. That's why none of this shit works. They're the ones stealing all the money. And it's like, bro, no! If we just look right there, it's the dude. The rich dude who set the whole system up to steal it so he can sit around. Here's another thing. Last thing I'll say on this before we unpause the video is that I low-key think this. I thought this for a long time. I've said this before, but I truly believe that everyone actually secretly knows that it is the mega rich siphoning off the money. But I truly believe that people are unconsciously afraid because it's a way harder fight. Why not use summons to beat Bezos? We need to ring the mimic tier. We have to use magic. We have to use spells. It's time to stop around.
You ready for this?
The word is out.
Why living in Australia is impossible. I'm gonna assume the video is about the cost of living. Let's get it out of the way. If the election is between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, Biden will not win. He will not win. It just won't happen. It already was looking cooked, and then Trump got a photo of him in front of the American flag holding up a fist while bleeding from his ear, bro. I can't think of a time in history when someone's had an assassination attempt and that person didn't go on to landslide. Reagan had it and landslided. Bolsonaro, he got stabbed, he landslided. That was a crisis actor on stage. I recognize him from Home Alone 2. You know what? You're right. You're onto something. Do you support what has happened or are you against it? So explain your question. Do I support people shooting at presidential candidates? No. Is this an FBI agent? I'm clear, bro. No, I don't support people shooting at presidential candidates. And do I think it's unfortunate that he's gonna sweep this into power and then probably win down ballot as well? So we're gonna have a Republican Congress, House, and President? Yes, I think that's unfortunate. I don't think that the legislation they pass will be good, but I don't think he should be shot at. Do you think Trump gets shot at and instantly thinks, oh, dude, we're winning this? He is extremely content-brained. The fact that Trump was not immediately rushed off stage and instead, like, posed for a photo is, I think he farmed it instantly, bro. That photo is gonna be in t-shirts, everything. That photo's everywhere. New Tim Cook Zeet, Apple supports Trump. Wait, what? I think you're putting words in Tim Cook's mouth. Tim Cook said, I pray for President Trump's rapid recovery. My thoughts are with him and I condemn violence. That's what everybody's saying. There is nothing else Tim Cook should say than that. Political violence sucks. The fact that it's happening in America sucks. We've had 50 years since an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate. It would be nice to not start a new trend of this. It's not good. The way it impacts the election is bad. It's not fun to live through times that will be in history books. It's not fun. Is there any like credible news source that has anything on the shooter? Trump rally shooting investigated as assassination attempt. These people are just chilling. This dude's like sitting on his leg.
Let me get my shoes. Hold on, your head is bloody.
Yeah, dude, he's the most content brained. That is the most content brain thing I've ever seen. Where's the photo? This one. Yeah, dude, it's just, I don't think there's anything Biden can do against that. Can't lie, it's hard as photo. Yeah, it's just, the flag is there. He's got the scars, he got the fist up. This is like when Bolsonaro got stabbed, dude. This is an election-winning photo. Biden needs to come out as bi. I'm sorry, you think that the political counter to this is for Joe Biden, unprompted, to hold a press conference today and say that I am bisexual. That same photo, but it's the bi flag. Holy shit, he wins 48 states, dude. What a turnaround. Here, this is an hour ago. Let me see if there's any new news from CNN here.
We also don't know more details about what kind of shooter this was.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and the YouTube Music app all together. One subscription, 2 apps. Try 1 month free.
I think we need to be really careful until we find out more. I asked, you know, did the shooter have a gun? Is that what you're saying? He said, I can't.
Did the shooter have a gun? I would assume so. You think he threw a balloon dart? Asking the right questions. Avada Kedavra. Breaking news, the shooter was a millennial. No! Real talk, though, what do you think is a reaction to Trump's rhetoric, or is it the fact that we're doing things no? Bro, it is one person with a gun. Let's not extrapolate it to movements of people reacting to Trump or Biden's rhetoric. We have a problem in America. We have a lot of people with guns. Not all of them have good mental health. We are way too early to be speculating on anything. We don't know anything about this guy. If Trump needed to be replaced, who would replace him in your opinion? Trump? Nobody can replace Trump on the Republican side. There's not anybody even close to his popularity with Republicans. Who's number two? It's like the biggest gap in the world. The Hawk Tuah girl. She might be VP, bro. With her popularity, she might be VP. 4 months, a lot can happen. Here's what could happen. Biden could drop out, and they could find a candidate that is capable of speaking complete coherent sentences that can maybe articulate a vision for a different America. That's what could happen. I swear to God, after this, I do think his likelihood of dropping out is way higher. Like, the stakes are up. I was reading FT this morning. It was like private interviews with a lot of people around him that are like subtly and unsubtly pressuring him. Like, you gotta sit the down. I understand that, like, it's his choice at the end of the day, but like, if enough people consistently, and the polls are just so bad, especially in battleground states. Dude, Hillary Clinton, please run is so funny. I can't think of anything more hilarious, more DNC pilled than convincing Biden to step down and then sending out Hillary again. Well, they're sending out Michelle. Call me crazy. I've heard this from so many people. I don't think so. I'll be wrong. I'll be wrong if it happens. I truly think Michelle Obama is not running. She's never expressed even one iota of interest. There's so many people like Newsom, Cuban, all these people who have like been very clear, if not directly stating, that they are like angling to start running. Michelle Obama has shown nothing. What's Jimmy Carter up to these days? I'm sorry, you want to replace Joe Biden with someone older. I think the main thing that's Joe Biden's getting hit on is his lack of experience. People think he's too youthful. They think he's too cavalier. You know what I'm saying? That's what's hurting him in the polls. If we could get Jimmy Carter, a more of an elder statesman, he's too green. Give Joe Biden a few more years, then he can run. You know what I'm saying? Who has the best chance to replace Biden and win? I don't know. Again, of the people who have even expressed any interest, my pick would be Mark Cuban. But I don't think anyone who actually is like in the running, because like Buttigieg I don't think would win. I think Newsom is just really unpopular outside of California, and even not so popular in California. Again, I've said my theory on Newsom is that I think he looks too good. People get creeped out by his hair. I honestly think that is a fact. I think Newsom looks too much like a politician with nice hair, and people, they don't f with it. And then I think Kamala's unpopular. I don't think Michelle Obama would run. I thought Andrew Yang was kind of cool. Am I crazy? I mean, I like universal basic income. I don't think Andrew Yang is going to come out of nowhere and sweep this election, bro. It's got to be so. That's what I'm saying. Of anybody who fits like the, you know, can possibly sway votes back over, project some strength, talk well, I think it's Cuba. That's what I'm saying. I just think it's. What about Barack again? He can't run. Bernie from the rafters. They could like digitally age up Mr. Beast and try to run with it. Mr. Beast had a very popular tweet about running for president. If Biden in his last act as president changes the age requirement and they throw Mr. Beast up there, knowing the DNC, they're going to replace Joe Biden with Liz Truss. They're going to bring him over from the UK. Liz Truss is going to run here. Second chance. What about Mitt Romney? What a crazy play that would be. Running Mitt Romney as the Democratic candidate. That would be such an insane play. Al Gore. How old is Al Gore? He's 76. Pretty old. How old's Trump again? He's 78 and Biden's 81. God, everyone's so old. My God. It's so old. It shocks me every time. Is there betting odds? Betting odds on who replaces Biden. Okay, right now, it's 50-50 on Kamala Harris. There is better odds of Kamala than Joe Biden. This is from today. There is better odds of Kamala being the nominee than Joe Biden. Wow. Then there's Newsom, 10%. Michelle Obama with 9%. I think this is so crazy. Newsom's definitely angling eventually to run. I don't think he's going to do it this time. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be the nominee. I think The Rock said he would not. He said, The Rock said he was approached by a political party. He didn't say which one. I'm genuinely confused why nobody mentioned Fulcrum. Fulcrum is your candidate. The dude who hit the Blinkerton. In all seriousness, I think Biden will be very shaken by these events. He's seen this happen before, from Reagan in 81 to Kennedy in 63, and of course, Julius Caesar in 44 BC. 50 Cent tweeted? Bro, I saw people were they're playing many men over the Trump footage. Biden is cooked. When you can put many men over your footage, Trump gets shot and now I'm trending. Did he make this photo? That's crazy. So calls on DJT. You can't make any money. You cannot make any money right now betting on Trump to win the presidency. It's like, it's so favored. I am way coming around more to the fact that Biden will step down now. It's too early and the calls are too loud. I don't see how he can turn it around. I missed his conference. I missed his press conference because we were live playing Chain together. So I went back and watched it. I had already seen the clips. Obviously, he has a thing where he calls Kamala Harris Trump, and he has a thing where he calls Zelensky Putin, which is extra bad. The rest of it is actually, I guess, fine. He doesn't have any other major error. Those are two major errors. It's funny because the first half is scripted. So he delivers the scripted part fine. And the second it's the first question, he does the mistake of saying Trump-Harris. So it's like the second he's off script, it was bad. It's just, if it was a different candidate, those two flubs are like, okay, whatever, you misspoke. But he needed that conference to go perfect. It wasn't enough. The good part wasn't good enough. Would you prefer if there was an independent or more moderate left or right wing as a third party? Would I prefer if there was a third party in America? Yeah, sure, yes. You know what's crazy? Whether or not I prefer it, they don't just do it. It's dumb. What is this? Fresh meme hot off the press. That's pretty good. We'll palate cleanse with this Northline clip. What does this say?
For your own safety, do you understand?
I missed.
For your own safety, do you understand?
Is this librarian? He didn't even miss, by the way. I don't know. Not to be Hitman pilled, he didn't even miss. This turns faded circle if he hits. Look, he hit. I'm sorry, he hit, dude. Hit the ear. This is a funny story. If you guys don't know, like, Abercrombie & Fitch has done better than NVIDIA. Not like overall value, but in terms of percentage growth. It's an insane stock story. This brand was like left for dead and now it like is exploding. Very recently. We can pull it up right now. Like, look at this, dude. Abercrombie & Fitch, bro. It just like hit. My understanding is that it's popular.
Abercrombie faced rising fast fashion competition and mounting lawsuits over discrimination. And the CEO who built the company's exclusive image.
I remember him from that doc. This dude's weird. This dude is weird. He was like so obsessed with looks, and you know, for someone who looks the way he does, you'd think he'd be less judgmental.
Here's the case study on how Abercrombie went against industry standards, abandoned its teenage consumer, and aged up.
Interesting.
First, the company had to distance.
So millennials grew up with it, and then they found the millennials again now that they have money. They just said, we were a brand for a youth, but now we're a brand for the millennials because they're older and have money now. That's genius.
So Abercrombie decided to grow up with its customer.
Now we're talking about targeting a 25-year-old, and that means that we're selling to people 20s, 30s, into their 40s.
A group that Abercrombie calls the young millennial.
Is there any more young millennials left? Youngest millennial's like 30, bro. I mean, I don't think 30 is old. I don't. I think you have to be in 20s to be straight up young. I think young stops at 24, bro. 24 is like the oldest you could be to be straight up full on young. If you're 25, I don't think you're old. I think but you're like, you're an adult, right?
Abercrombie says it reinvested in better buttons, zippers, and softer fabrics. But the specifics about its fabrics are proprietary information.
Sure. I can't imagine they went insane on the quality. maybe they got better buttons or whatever, but I actually read some more stuff about fast fashion recently. This is a spoiler for Marketing Monday that I haven't done yet. I'll tell you more about it when we do it. You guys know the luxury brand Dior or Armani suits? You know, they're supposed to be made in Italy. They're a fancy Italian high-end luxury brand. They're owned by France, but they had a factory that was actually subcontracting to a different factory, which was subcontracting to a different factory, which was all Chinese below minimum wage labor and made with the lowest quality materials that was then selling it back up the chain to sell as a Dior bag. And the Dior bag cost 2,700 pounds, or euros, I'm sorry, 2,700 euros. And the police raided it because this is a lie. They were lying about where it was made. So the police raided the factory, got to the bottom of it, found the purchase orders, and they found what it actually cost to make, which was like 47 euros. Like all throughout the chain. They found the cost to make, and then they were selling it for $27.50. And that's at a high-end luxury level. I don't imagine that Abercrombie has found the magic sauce to get real high-quality stuff. Isn't that illegal? Yeah, that's why they were raided by the police. It's not illegal to mark it up. It is illegal to lie about the country of origin and then the factory of origin, which they were doing.
Either you fit in it or you didn't. Today, they've really focused on fit.
One thing that's crazy about women's fashion is apparently, my understanding is that every single store has a different sizing mechanism. Like every store does different numbers and you can't match them up, which is insanely difficult to navigate. Men's is worse? Is it? I feel like my jean size, like if I do 30, 32 or whatever, it's anywhere. And if I do shirt, it's medium anywhere. I've never had an issue.
What is the most important thing to this young millennial? And frankly, that is going away for a long weekend with their friends.
We love that. Although it could also have been Funko Pops. Could have been Funko Pops, could have been Harry Potter, but I guess along with a friend is also great. Going away for the weekend with my heckin' doggo. Yes, that would also be awesome.
Abercrombie reduced its store square footage by about 25%. This allowed it to decrease rent costs by about $230 million. All the while, the company has invested in growing its audience online.
I mean, I'm joking on this, but this is like a pretty textbook, intelligent business turnaround. They like listen to the customers, they cut costs without sacrificing quality. I mean, it's good, and it worked, and they made a bunch of money. It's kind of like what Chili's is doing right now by getting me as their new spokesman.
A lot of the excitement about Abercrombie Adult particularly happened from the consumer.
It's unreal. Abercrombie's coming back?
I think I bought every dress that Abercrombie had.
Abercrombie
in my early 50s, but here we are.
This is how marketing is done nowadays. Your ads don't matter. Consumers tell each other. Get them to talk about it on social media. Get consumers to gaslight each other. Yes. Yeah, that's legitimately works 50,000 times better.
We've seen their stock have this insane rally. It was even growing faster than NVIDIA, and this is in the year of AI.
Yeah, but I bet Abercrombie & Fitch never made a H100 GPU for a few $100 and sold it for $50,000. So zip it.
Given that millennial women spent more on apparel for themselves last year than any other generation.
Sheesh.
It is longer.
Women be shopping, specifically millennial women. Millennial women be shopping is now a fact. I wonder if this applies to men. Men's apparel spend by generation. This has youngest millennials at 28. This is definitely including zillennials then, which I guess is fine. What's a zillennial? It's like the in-betweener generation. If you're born in like 99, 2000, they just love to go online and talk about how they don't fit anywhere. I don't really like TikTok that much, but I don't love Harry Potter either. I don't fit. Nobody really understands me. I just love How to Train Your Dragon. I love the Nintendo DS. I get it, but I don't think they're pure millennials. They don't like Harry Potter enough. They don't like Harry Potter enough, and they don't like doggos. They cannot include it in the club, all right? I'm 95. Can I be Gen Z? Bro, you're a millennial. You're 90. You were born in 95. They're not going to take you, bro. You're born in 95. Bro, you're basically 30, young. What am I at 2003? 2003, you're a classic Gen Z. 2003, you're 21. You're trying to figure life out. You can't find a great paying career type job, and you don't know where you're gonna get a house. You're Gen Z classic. You're Gen Z classic, bro. When is the Gen Z to Gen Alpha? 2010? They're like 14 now. 2009 to 14 area. Gen Z to Alpha. I don't even know what you call that. The middle ground. They're like, I like Roblox, but I don't really love Bluey. They had an iPad, but like not right away. Exactly, dude. They had an iPad, but like they played Fruit Ninja, so it was a little cooler. No, I get you. That's based.
Gen Z famously think millennials are very uncool. Millennials are a big fan of Abercrombie right now, so...
Wait, Gen Z, you think millennials are uncool? When did this happen? I thought you looked up to us like some sort of icons and heroes. You mean to tell me you guys don't think that loving Harry Potter is cool? Don't talk to me before I have my coffee, Unc, shut up. You're telling me that if I were to decorate my house with a live, laugh, love, you wouldn't think that's cool? Yeah, when fashion is so decided by what's doing well on social media, and if all the millennials are loving Abercrombie, it's going to become a unliked brand very quickly. That's future Abercrombie's problem? True, facts. You gotta do what you gotta do. They made money, they turned it around. I'm glad I watched it. That was interesting. I learned more than I thought I would about Abercrombie's turnaround. What are some other brands I can buy purely for millennial nostalgia? What is a millennial nostalgia brand? Was PacSun still around? I used to shop at PacSun and all the skater brands, dude. DC, PacSun, American Eagle. Not Jersey. What am I thinking of, bro? Someone's gonna say it, dude. Not Zoo York, not PacSun, not Echoes, not Hollister. It had shoes. It was Tilly's. Yes, we get there. I bought a lot. A lot. This is like everything I wore. I had so many skate shirts from Tilly's, bro. I was stylish as hell. I think I got my first flannel at a Tilly's. Brings a tear to my eye just thinking about it. Chili's and Tilly's, my big two. Tilly's son or Abercrombie daughter. Tough. I was a poser too. I mean, I had a longboard. I couldn't necessarily use a skateboard or do any tricks, but I had a longboard to get around. So let's not rule me out. All right, big fella? Dude, you should get some Vans shoes. They have augmented reality Vans shoes now. This guy's mind is blown. You look, you might have used a penny board. Wow, I didn't use a penny board. No, I used a longboard, bro. A friend of mine actually made me a custom longboard where he painted the bottom and it had Mario shooting a fireball, but like in a cool art style. It was the sickest, nicest gift I ever got. And then when I was in class, freshman year of college, it was stolen during a test, and it was really depressing. And I was so sad because I had to tell him, want it back? Shut the fuck up. Can I still ask a political question? Yes, of course. Of course, you can ask a question. I'm always open to questions done reasonably. I just don't like people that are so confident in unresearched opinions. Can you tell me how to argue with someone who thinks that immigration is the root of every problem in any country? Bro, that's a great question because it's such a simple solution that people latch onto. I don't know that I have a great instant answer for you. I should think about it more. I honestly, I gotta be honest with you, what I've found in life is arguing about something like this will never work ever. There's like not a fact or something you can throw. There's not one of these things where you can like get the right gotcha fact. You feel it in your gut. So my first advice would be to not argue and try to find common ground. But I guess the thing that I find to be uniting is that I think all people know that like there is a system between big business and politics, basically money and politics from big business, that siphons out most of the prosperity that they would otherwise enjoy. And I think if you keep the eye of Sauron on that and understand that like we need to go with the parties that are most likely to break that up, to fight that, because that is the core problem. And understand that whether or not you really crack down on the border, kick all the immigrants, will not change that problem. That is the problem that's causing most of your issues in society. I think most people agree that. That's the thing, is that if you really talk to them, I think people do agree with that. They get distracted. And then this is a tougher thing to say, but it is true. There's people that will never recognize that there is any problem at all with any amount of immigration. There's so much fake news about it, it's tough to discuss, but I don't like when there clearly is a problem. There's like some truth in the problem, and then people call every single person who thinks there's a problem a racist. I think that's not productive. It doesn't help. And it actually hurts their own cause. I don't like that. It's such a hot ticket item, it's tough for me to discuss, but I don't think that's effective. And so that, I think is where we end up with this weird gridlock, where some people think it's the only problem and it's the cause of all problems, and some people think there's not a problem at all, and if you think there is, you're a racist. And those two people will never get along on anything, and we don't make any progress, and then we end up talking way too much about immigration instead of any of the actual problems, which again, all come back to the people at the very top of society sucking out all the prosperity. So that is what I think, bro. Tough to talk about, but I think I'm more and more confident, or I feel more and more spine on my thoughts on this. I feel good about my opinion, and so I like to say it more often. You ever worry about immigrants taking streamer jobs? Yeah, it's my number one fear. My whole platform is that I'm worried about immigrants taking streamer jobs. Japan's not sending their best VTubers. We need to build a digital wall with Japan and keep the VTubers out. Okay, they're taking my job. I saw a VTuber playing Hitman the other day. Oh dear God, what happened to this country? We're gonna make a great firewall and we're gonna make Japan pay for it. Can't America fix their immigration problem by sending the same amount of Americans outside the border? I'm sorry. I'm not, you would be loath to call me far right here. But is your take that every time someone illegally enters the country, we should take an American citizen and kick them out of the country? I'm trying to understand. I just want to understand. I think it might be a tough sell. Just politically, because you understand it's the American citizens that are voting, right? And so I will say this, if we're talking pure economically, if every time a young illegal immigrant crossed the border, we kicked out a boomer, we could solve the demographic crisis in America in no time, bro. Social Security would be funded in no time. And if we 100% taxed them on exit and got all of the boomers' wealth, we could rebuild all the roads and nuclear power plants. Just not my grandma, though. Just not my grandma. Would you deport all the boomers if the only way was to include your grandma? No, I wouldn't deport all the boomers. I don't honestly believe we should take every elderly person in America and kick them out of the country. That's not a realistic solution. I don't actually believe that, bro. It will be, you know what? I'd be down to try it. If we could vacation, if we could just like throw them all in Australia for 6 months and see what happens. But no, I don't want everybody, especially the non-wealthy boomers, are suddenly just kicked out of their homes in the country because they got old. What if we do a reverse draft? A reverse draft where it's like a maximum age or whatever. We're like, it's everybody over 60. We go to war and it's just the oldest army we've ever had. That'd be kind of sick. We start World War III, but it's only people who are alive around World War II. They're already pre-trained. Let's do a full-on rematch, dude. Everybody who's still alive from the 40s. We really need to include the 50s and 60s, though. The guys that remember it. They've had so much time to train. World War II 2.0. World War II V2. I like that. I like that. That's a good idea. This might, the Golden Bachelor, but for World War II. Who do you got winning the run back? Actually, honestly, Japan. Japan's got a lot of old people, and they're healthier than the rest of the world. They live longer. Honestly, if it's only old people war, Japan crushes, dude. I would be worried for China. I'll be worried for China if we do World War II with only old people. We still have nukes, but you can't hit a young person. One rule is nobody young can get hit. Everyone under 60 is safe. So nukes are off the table, unless we can somehow get old people isolated. Laser tag ass rules. Dodging the draft by having healthy hips. Yeah. If you're 60 but still kind of young, you know, you feel you're spry, you don't get drafted. You're fine. We're looking at people who are really old. I have an old soul. Does that count? Yeah, you're drafted. Get out there. Do they get modern technology like drones? You think they're going to use it? You think an over 60 army is going to figure out how to pilot the drones? It'll be a disaster. Yeah, they get it, but they can't use it. They get no training. They should somehow hit the Netflix button on the drone controller. Every drone starts playing Netflix. My grandpa trying to fly a Predator drone is a nightmare. Your nightmare is going to be our great entertainment. We're all going to be watching. It's going to be so fun. What if we don't even do it in the countries? Let's just put them all in Australia. All the olds in the whole world go on Australia and they fight it out. And we watch it on TikTok Live. And it's like, it's Battle Royale. Yeah. I think that'd be sick. Did they drop in using a flying bus? No, that's the Zoomer war that I'm also planning. Millennials, wait for the next meeting. Millennials, don't worry. When we get our majority vote, don't worry. I've got some plans. I've got some plans for the Zoomers as well. Yeah, what if we get Mr. Beast to turn Australia into a giant coliseum? There will never be a millennial president? You're crazy. You're crazy. There will definitely be a millennial president. 100%. Just the math. No, we're not getting skipped. We're not. I have worried about us getting skipped. Millennials not a small generation. We're not Gen X, bro. Gen X is getting skipped, actually. It's going to be straight from boomers to millennials. Mark Cuban is Gen X? All right, maybe they get one. Mr. B's going to go 10 terms. It would be crazy if we go straight from, like, Biden and Trump to Mr. Beast, and he goes 10 terms. That would be a wild result. Your current president, our current president is not even a boomer. I will say that. He's greatest gen, right? Greater than Biden is older than the boomers. He was born while World War II was still active, which is crazy. Why didn't Biden stop Hitler? That's a good question. Although I will say Hitler was alive, then Biden was born, then Hitler died. So he has a claim. He'd say that he stopped Hitler. What are your thoughts on nuclear energy? I've never had any thoughts on it. I've never had a single thought on nuclear energy, nor have I ever spoken about it in the past. So I don't think I have anything to say about it now. Thanks for bringing it up, though. Have you seen the hot picture of him? Is it hot Joe Biden or hot Hitler? Because I don't want to really... Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Hot Joe, dude. Imagine you just in a photo of him at the debate with his eyes popping out. Jeez, bro. What year was this? Like the 60s? I'm assuming he's born in the 40s. This is the 1776. Yeah, Hawaii Joe in the 60s.
With 7 drive modes, Nissan Pathfinder.
Can I talk about France real quick? A quick update on France. Very mini Marketing Monday here, but I really wanted to talk about what the hell is going on in France. As you may know from our last video, this guy, Macron, did an amazing, crazy, wild gambit to snap, dissolve the parliament, and call a new election out of the blue while the tides were turning against him. And we wanted to know how it turned out because it looked like his chief rival, the right-wing Le Pen, was going to make a big surge. Well, at least one person voted for Macron himself, and it turns out, in a surprise turn of events, Le Pen came in third. Macron did better than expected in second, and the left-wing New Popular Front came in first. Okay, this is the new breakdown. However, even though there's a lot of people celebrating over this, I want to give a little bit of a deeper look into what actually happened and what I think is going to happen in France. But let me explain a couple things. Let me explain how French Parliament works. This is French Parliament. It's a big room with a lot of seats in it. Can you guys count how many seats there are? Please take your time. Good job. It's 577. Why does that matter? Because there's 577 constituencies, these little counties or whatever you want to call them in France, okay? This is where people vote, and each one elects a representative. But here's how the elections work. They have a two-part system that's very interesting. Let's say we pick one of these random spots like this in France. And let's say there's 4 candidates who are all uniquely cute in their own ways. And they're all running in this constituency. Now, if one of the candidates, maybe the far right one, wins 51% of the vote in round 1, then the vote is over, okay? It doesn't matter what everyone else got. If you have 51%, then in round 1, they just call it. This happened in not many constituencies in France. Of the ones where it did win in round 1, 32 of them, the most, went to Le Pen. Le Pen was winning a lot of places after round 1. If, let's say, nobody has 51%. Slime's got 37, Ludwig's got 29, Nick's got 23, Aiden has 11. I made Aiden the loser in all these for some reason. Let's say nobody has a 51% majority. Well, in that case, you go to round 2, and they drop out anybody who did really badly. I think it's below 12.5%. This is what happened in almost every constituency in France. I'm talking about 500 plus of the constituencies. Nobody had a clear majority, right? So they drop out Aiden, and Aiden's votes go to everyone else. So now, Slime has even more of a clear lead because Aiden and Slime were both far right. So now we're in round 2. This is what was unique about this election, okay? Is that fearing the domination by the far right, Le Pen's party, or the Slime party, if you call it. These two parties, even though they don't even really agree on that much, Macron, the centrist, and the New Popular Front, the far left, they agreed to drop out of each other's races. Anywhere they were the third place position, they dropped out. So for example, in this one, the third place would drop out to create like a wall against this party. And so that is what happened. That happened in like hundreds, 200 plus, 300 plus, I think it was 280 constituencies in France, which led to, surprisingly, this party, which had been polling really well, losing a lot of seats. Let me give you a real world example, okay? This is round one voting. It looks like the National Rally, Le Pen's party, is dominating. They are ahead in almost every constituency in the first round. They had the lead in the vast majority, right? But then after this strategy of dropping out the third place and everyone else and having everyone else team up basically to stop, this is what happened in the actual round two. This is who actually won the vote. So it was a good tactic and it worked. It led to Le Pen not getting the majority that she was projected to get. Okay, they got a third place instead of what they were predicted in the first. Here is the actual results. New Popular Front got 182 seats. The new leader, Macron's party, didn't do as badly as thought. They got 168, and then National Rally still grew, but not as much as thought, with 143. Now here's the problem. There's a lot of celebrations. Oh, this is a great win. Wow, we really stopped them. We stopped Le Pen. Here's the truth. Because none of these parties, first of all, even really get along. These guys teamed up for this fight, but they don't really get along. None of these parties has a majority. So now it is a three-way split between three parties that don't like each other and can't get along and cannot come to a decision. That's the first part. The second part is that you need 289 seats for a majority. So now a large portion of some of these people have to team up to get anything done. A very likely deadlock, gridlock, polarized country. But because they've held back Le Pen this one time, Le Pen no longer will be held liable for doing anything. So from now until 2027, my estimation is that France is going to be a gridlock country that solves none of its problems. And Le Pen won't even be blamed. And Le Pen got a massive lead in the popular vote. They got the smallest seats of the three, but they had the most votes. And if you're someone who's mad about the Electoral College in America, you should probably see this, people getting frustrated at this. In my mind, Le Pen got the perfect result. They get to say, the populace wants us, we got tricked out of power, and they don't get blamed for anything that happens. For me, this is like the worst possible result for the future of France, because now Le Pen gets to sit around, take no blame, have all of the popular vote, and then get stronger for the next election. The only way this gets solved is if a coalition forms between these two parties that actually governs. If they actually govern and make some changes, maybe they tax the rich, maybe they get things. If things happen and France improves, that would be great. That's the best result. But I am not confident that this polarized country with no clear majority, with Macron not getting along with the left party, I don't think this is going to happen. We're going to have a situation we've never known before with the absence of a stable, coherent, homogenous majority. This is like not happened in France. And I don't think that these parties are getting along. I mean, again, this party right here, the left-wing party, is a coalition of vastly different parties that barely got together. There's like a huge variety of opinions in this party. They can't get along by them. They haven't even elected a leader. There's not even a leader of this party. My estimation, I think France between now and 2027 is going to have a bad time. They're going to govern slowly and contentiously, and they're going to fight a lot. Nothing's going to get changed. There's not going to be any real progress. It's not going to be better. And then people are going to get more mad. And then in 2027, it's going to be even more of a sweep for our end. That's what I think is going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, I'll be happy. But I'm telling you what I think is going to happen, because that's what I'm trying to do with this show. Sounds like the Ensemble government. Well, Ensemble has a decent amount of power, because if you look, these two parties will never get along. They just won't agree on anything, right? And neither of them has a majority for anything. So everybody kind of needs Macron. They need Ensemble to get anything done. He has more power than you would estimate when this election started. It kind of worked out for him. But the problem is the popular vote is what it is, bro. These people that wanted to see these people in power didn't get it, are now more frustrated, and unless things change for the better, they're going to get more votes. 37% isn't popular? Bro, but look at the votes for the other two parties. The party that got the most seats got 26%. The party that got the least seats of the three had more. What do you want me to say, bro? I think this is what's going to happen. Yeah, I don't want to be a downer here, but I don't see a good couple years for France with this gridlock, terrible system. If one of these parties, one of these two, had an absolute majority, things could happen. Change could happen. I think no change will happen. People are going to get more frustrated. If they were going to beat the RN, they had to beat them harder because this is too gridlocked. But we'll see. If they manage to work together, it would be really great if there's like a good centrist alliance like this that gets things done. I feel unconfident for everything I've read from actual French publications and French people. I think this is a bad result. There's people that disagree in chat. I think they're wrong, but we'll see. We'll watch the next couple years of France and see if they have this miracle alliance that works together well and governs and makes progress. But I don't think it'll happen. Maybe they'll do a Frexit. Well, this party, Le Pen's party, they don't talk about it anymore, but they did want a Frexit. They used to want a Frexit. They've been quiet on it, but they used to talk about getting out of the EU. Anyway, that's the update. I know it would be more fun to be like this and celebrate and like this is super good. But honestly, the more I look at it, I think this is like a pretty weak result that is gonna be bad for France. I don't think this is gonna go well. I think this is gonna go really badly, just a few years delayed. But we'll see. We'll see, man. I would love to be proven wrong. Is 90% tax true? Yeah, so the New Popular Front did propose a 90% wealth tax, or a tax on the top. Forgot what level of earnings it was. But again, without a majority, this won't pass. It won't happen. But that just literally won't happen. So I don't even want to like get interested or excited about it. They will not get that passed. And so that's why I'm saying this election is just nothing crazy is going to happen because nobody can get anything radical or any change passed, which is going to make the average Frenchman more mad. And they're already so mad. Would you have any fears about a tax that high actually causing the English to just leave? Bro, they're already trying to do that. I was reading a great article about rich French people who are like already trying to hide their assets offshore even before the election because they were worried about anything happening. They're trying to hide their money in Italy. But you know what? Bro, you want access to the French consumer, pay a French tax. I am never scared of rich people will just leave. If you have a country with a lot of prosperity and people in it, the money is there. Countries with high taxes had a lot of prosperity and riches before. I'm French and I can say too psyoped by mainstream media. Explain. What are we psyoped about? Osby, what are we psyoped about? Explain. Because I read a lot of French sources for this. So I don't know that it was a mainstream media psyop, bro. But I would love to know. You're acting like the policies are... The thing is, let me say this. To show the average person that this is the right choice, which I agree is overall the right choice. They have to work. It has to govern. You can't just keep talking about how terrible this party is and then things still get worse for the average person in France. The fact that it's going to be more gridlocked than it was before, which it already was gridlocked. If it doesn't get better, then they will continue to turn for a more egregious party. And so the fact that nobody got even close to majority and everything is going to require incredible coalition building, which France has not shown a willingness to do on anything serious. Why would RN winning be so bad? I mean, the party has Nazi ties and is generally one of the parties that exists around the world that blames everything on immigration. There's this rising tide of parties that have realized that if you just say everything is the fault of immigrants, that will fix everything. If we just change that, it'll solve all of our problems. Don't worry about rich people milking us dry. Don't worry about the government deficits. Don't worry about anything. If we just get rid of immigrants, everything's good. That is like the key of that party. But the thing is, that is an appealing thing for people to hear when shit sucks. Historically, that's always worked in history. Parties like that start going when things are bad. And so the only counter to that is for things to get better. And I don't think things will get better in 3 years with a gridlocked parliament. As a Canadian, sure, the Conservatives are the sexy options where our communism is not gonna... Yeah, that's the thing. If neither party will fix the problem, then eventually the party you don't like will get in power. You can't say this party's the devil, this party's terrible, you can't trust them, and then get the reins and then not fix the problems. If you don't do that, if you don't make things better, then they will try the other people. And that's what's gonna happen in France. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen in France. What can France do to prevent violence? I think they have to make progress for the people of France. Things have to get better. That's already difficult for every country on earth, but it's extra difficult if you have a gridlocked parliament. That is why I am downer on it. I am not confident that they will make any material changes. Maybe Macron gets out there and scoops poop out of the river. Maybe if Macron gets out there with a strainer and cleans the river, then we'll see that he's the pooper scooper.
When it comes to your wellness routine, the details are the difference. Dove Men Body Wash with
Hey, can you explain health insurance in America? No. No. I just stop right there. I'm not even going to read the rest of what your question is. Nobody can. BDG has a good video, but nobody can truly explain why. I guess money. Actually, I can play it really easy. It makes middlemen a lot of money. But getting in the true dirty weeds of it is a morass that no one can understand. You had a lipid profile done. The bill was $800, though I ended up paying $0. They just came at $750 and risk of insurance. I can actually explain that. Is that the middlemen know that you don't actually pay. The insurance company pays, and the insurance company uses the large number of people in their network to get discounts. And so the incentive is to constantly make up fake higher and higher prices, because that's what the starting cost is that then gets discounted and then gets paid. And so the whole thing is like this weird scam that kind of works, like it gets by for Americans with health insurance. If you have health insurance, which comes through your employer, everything kind of works. It's still expensive, but like you pay a small amount and it works. And a lot of money gets siphoned out through the middleman in the government, right? However, if you don't have insurance, it completely now, because of the way this artificially inflates all the prices to like absurd, unreasonable levels, it makes it impossible to get realistic health care without work-provided health insurance in this country. That is the biggest effect. American health care is not terrible. Well, I mean, it is terrible. It is terrible through and through. It's rotten. But it's not impossible to navigate if you have work-provided health insurance. Then it's comparable to other countries, like you get reasonable care. But the problem is that anyone that doesn't have that, and it's very hard to get without getting it through your work. And also, by the way, requiring every American to need health coverage from their work means small businesses have to go through an insane amount of difficulty and paperwork and tough challenges to be able to get it in a good way to provide it for their employees. So it gives an advantage to big, gigantic cartel corporations. It's fucked up. Our system is truly bad, truly rotten from the top down, to help make people in the middle a lot of money that do nothing. They're not doctors. The people between the doctors and you, they're big, fat, blood-sucking leeches, and they're the problem, 100%. And I wouldn't have it any other way. God bless America, baby. God bless. Raise the flag. Most people I work with are older, and they're starting to struggle with insurance. Exactly. Especially as you get older in America, your freedoms on what jobs you want to do, or if you want to start your own business or do anything, are limited because you cannot provide your own health care. You have to be in like a system. It's so difficult. So you need to work at an established corporation who can set it up and get cost advantages. I mean, honestly, I think it's a really unique, like if America has one thing they're worse at, it's probably health care and health insurance than almost any other developed country. There are good things about America. I mean, again, our salaries are great. Energy costs, people complain about oil costs in America. Bro, we don't know how good we got it. You don't know how good we have it. Gas prices. People complain about gas prices entirely too much in America compared to almost anywhere else. We have built the world around keeping our gas prices low. We have it great. There's many advantages, but in terms of healthcare, even more than I think like guns, I think healthcares are uniquely bad because we've just really let this middleman leech grow so fat and so big and get its tentacles in so many parts of American government and life that it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. A lot of my coworkers at UPS work there part-time just for the insurance and have their own small businesses. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. That's people finding a way to work the system, which is where they need health insurance. By the way, I'll just be real with you. I don't have health insurance right now. Ari does. Ari set it up for herself. She did all the paperwork and everything. I don't. I had it like right after I left NVIDIA. It lasted like 8 months afterward. They have good. NVIDIA was good. And I just did everything. I did like every checkup and but now it's been a while. The thing is, I have enough relatively liquid money that I think anything outside of like long-term cancer treatments I could cover in an emergency. And I'm just banking on the fact that I have nothing. I do need to eventually figure it out. Yeah, Glancer. Glancer could bankrupt me. Used your Marketing Monday info to sound smart in front of my boss. Thanks, Big A. The Marketing Monday info that I had about Citibank was that they are the best bank for money launderers, and that Chinese and Mexican drug traffickers will use them to smuggle fentanyl proceeds. How did you use that in a meeting? You work for the cartel? How did that come up in I said nothing positive about Citibank. Nothing that I said I would want to repeat in front of Citibank if I was trying to work with them. I don't know what you brought up, but that's very interesting. What do you think about permanent life insurance and getting it while you're young so your premium is zero? I don't know, bro. I wouldn't do it, obviously, but it depends on your situation. Feels tough. There's also counterparty risk, right? Like, what if I get insurance from a company that doesn't exist when I'm dead? or when I'm old. You know, is this company going to exist in 60 years or whatever? It's tough. I don't know. Should I get life insurance if I'm planning on being a nuclear bomb in the future? Now, when you say that, do you mean that you are going to build one, Oppenheimer style, or you are going to become one, be one? And explain it. So, like, the plane's going to drop you out, and then you're going to just, boom. You're going to split the atom, kaboom. Well, that answers it. Well, that settles it. You're going to kaboom. Okay. I didn't know they were hiring for that, I'll be honest with you. Not that I doubt you, but you have to convince not just me, but the military, right? Because you're going to go to somebody at the military and say, hey, don't worry about it. You can drop me out of the plane. And they're going to have to say, okay, we're going to do that. If the United States is dropping nuclear bombs on someone, apparently shit has gone wrong. Like, we're in a serious situation. So that means they're really relying on to be that bomb that you say you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't work, let's say like Russia.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Byrna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter.
Nukes Miami, okay? And we have to fire back. And so we're dropping a bomb on Moscow, and it's you. If it doesn't work, it's a problem. If Russia nukes Miami, we say thank you. Really? Really? If a foreign adversary nuked a major American city, you would say thank you. As the fallout spreads over the southeast, I'm sorry, you'd say thank you. Millions would be dead, by the way. Millions would be dead. But there at least would be no more BBLs. It's only Crypto Bros. It's not only Crypto Bros. There's more Crypto Bros than average, but it's not only Crypto Bros. If Putin developed a bomb that could only hit crypto, I understand that it's a little different. That hits Miami. I'm not happy about it, but I don't think we go full-scale nuclear response. Do you know what I'm saying? I think we measure our response. Yeah, it's like compound V, but for crypto. Compound C. Big A, any advice for a Gen Z who wants to get financially prepared for the future, but also very nihilistic about money in general? What do you mean nihilistic about money? Do you just see like coins and get sad? It's fake. All right, well, that's odd. It's not fake. Right? You buy stuff right now. I know what I mean, I could see being nihilistic about like the state of the economy or, you know, the rat race or the treadmill. Yeah, I could see that, but money itself is very real and will directly impact your life. The reason I think talking about finance and business is important is because unlike many, many topics that you could choose to engage in or not, if you choose not to learn about finance, it still affects you. No matter what, it affects you. You learn about it, maybe it helps, that's fine. You choose not to learn about it, it affects you. It is the one thing that is omnipresent and will impact your life. And so that's why I think it's important. That's why I like talking about it. It's unavoidable. Things that you think might not affect you, like rising interest rates or whatever, affect you. They all affect, they impact your life directly. Crypto Bro here, your characterization of my protected class, learning disabilities. I was literally canceling myself. Do you know what's funny? I do these reacts on Crypto Shark Tank. I've done like 3 or 4 of them now. And every time I'm pretty merciless. I make fun of it start to finish. The titles are making fun of it. The thumbnail's making fun of it. I make fun of it. Crypto people love these reacts. I get so many tags and I get so many and like on the crypto Reddits, they love it. Either they're like, oh yeah, YouTubers finally checking on crypto, or it's like I just got one today from like a crypto influencer. Yeah, here it is. 11 hours ago. H-Rock response to this show was almost spot on in my opinion. It paints the picture of what people still believe crypto is. I hadn't realized how badly edited the show was till he commented on the lack of detail. We're not even close to onboarding the masses. Like, they're using me as like a picture of what the masses think about crypto, and like, this is how we can learn. And it's like, bro, I do think they're all scams. I'm not like on the fence about to like make the leap. But you know what? That's fine. They're being nice. That's better. I thought for sure they'd be mean, but they're not. I've gotten more compliments from crypto people about those reacts than anything. What's funny is the thing I get the most hate for is, you know, just lightly prodding Roaring Kitty. That, dude, people get furious. I get the meanest DMs I've gotten in over a year are Roaring Kitty people.
We're excited to share something new at B&H. Whether you're in New York City, across the US, or around the world, we always strive to deliver that magical in-store experience to everybody online.
Big guy started it in the North Face. Oh, that's cool. And I'm given resources with lots of details on products. It makes me feel like non-competes have a time and place. Crims, are you coming in here to give me a pro non-competes argument? That's insane, bro. That's insane. What are they paying you to do this? No. Gotta get the shareholder value up. You got a stock plan you're really fighting for? That's crazy. Look at all the insane amounts of abuses it's been used for. I told about so many of them in that video. Listen, as I mentioned in the video, the original intended purpose of non-competes was for high-level executives who had very, very key important material information to the business that would be so damaging if it got out that it could kill the business. In that situation, it's possible they could work out a contract. But for the way it was used for the average American, of which 30% of working Americans were locked into a non-compete, it was abusive, it was restrictive, and it was designed to keep pay down. I despise non-competes. I despise them, and I despise that a terrible-ass, shitty federal judge has blocked the rollout of the FTC's non-compete ban. I get mad about it because it's so cringe. It is so un-American. It is damaging millions of people in service of very few. And I hope that it gets overturned and it gets passed through. And yeah, that's what I think. I'm just telling you, you will not convince me, I think, very easily that non-competes have a time and place, especially for a regular worker. That's crazy. Hey, Shrug, did you hear about the running gel company that claimed their gels had 180 calories and they were lying and underfilling packets and confirmed they only had about 6? Wait, they lied about, they said 180 and it was less? Running gel lying. Spring energy gels? Oh yeah, here it is. The downfall of spring energy gels. Apparently, Redditors figured it out? Dear God. Oh yeah, they just had way less calories than stated. Interesting. Hey, you know what? This is what the FDA should do. I mean, thank God there's a nerdy enough Redditors and people on Twitter out there to do this, but insane that this was not checked. So annoying. Any tips for not getting bored dead in the Bay Area? What part of the Bay Area? Are you in San Jose? Are you in Man Jose? In which case, there's no tips. Start a stream. But if you're in like SF, there's stuff to do. For sure. Is that why you started streaming? Basically, I mean, I was putting all my time into grinding NVIDIA, and then COVID happened, and then we were all work from home, and at the same time, because of COVID, everything started selling out. There was like these massive shortages of GPUs, so they were actually telling us not to market. Like there was points where they were like, hey, don't like try to push anything because then people are gonna get mad that there's none available. We would do stuff. We would do stuff on laptops, but it wasn't as hard. And so like that particular like 6-8 month period or whatever, that's when I started streaming because I was stuck at home. There wasn't a ton to do. There was stuff to do, but not not like it was the year before. And then I started streaming. Do you guys know Twitch as a whole like barely existed 9 years ago? 2013? 2013 is like the earliest days of Twitch. That's like the beginning. You get Mayanites, and you get Jericho, and you get Reynad, and you get Hearthstone era, and you get all that stuff. Atreus knows about Mayanite, bro. I worked at Twitch. When Mayanite happened. We did marketing. Mayanite was one of the biggest drivers of viewership, so we promoted the shit out of it. Syndicate, yeah, I know all those people from back then. I met them, dude. I met Gold Glove. There is this dude. I'm gonna tell you another Twitch story. I think I've told this story vaguely, but let me make it concrete. There was an older guy, a guy who was probably his mid-40s, who worked at Twitch, and he was kind of an asshole to me because we played an after-work poker game, and I basically called him Unk. Whatever the equivalent of Unk was at the time. I just basically called him old. I was like, bro, you're old as shit, bro. So this guy was mad at me. I was just joking. I was like 20 years old, 21 years old. But I made a joke at a poker game, and he like did a little smile, but then was never nice to me again. It's a vicious cycle. I can take a joke, obviously, even though I'm not old. So I call him old, and he called me the ugly Gold Glove for like 4 years. Okay? Because I would go to these Twitch parties, and I met Gold Glove. It was like me and Gold Glove at a bar. We were hanging out, we were clinking glasses, we were talking. He was super nice. He recognized me from Twitch Weekly, was a show I did. I was like, that was awesome. Like, dude, you're the biggest streamer on Twitch. And then he saw us both, and he goes, hey, you're kind of like the ugly one. And then he kept saying it at work for a long time. It was kind of fucked up. If you guys don't know, this is Gold Glove. So no. He's mogging me still. I'm getting mogged to this day. I'm getting mogged. But he was like one of the biggest streamers in early Twitch. So how about that? Have you heard of Jericho? Yeah, I've met Jericho. We did a marketing thing where we had Jericho on one of those mechanical bulls, and he got thrown off and he hit the wall really hard, and we thought we were gonna get sued. It was for pizza rolls, and we put him on a mechanical bull. Oh yeah, it was a couch. Yeah, yeah. Here it is. I can't find the image, but I can find the GIF right here. I'm like off camera. Yeah, he hits the wall hard, dude. He hits the wall hard. Hit his back crack. I was like, oh shit, we're on this one. This is a bad idea. Have you met Jimmy Beast? I have not met Jimmy Beast, the GOAT, the YouTube GOAT. But when I'm his vice president, we'll meet for sure. We're gonna meet in the Oval Office. But yeah, we want to get into streaming in the software and game dev category. Any advice? You should ask like Pirate Software this or something, man. I think what you should do is, the really simple answer is the hard truth, is you should do it, okay? And then you should be entertaining at it. So this is the hard part. The second part's the hard part. But first part is also hard because people don't do it. So you need to do the first part long enough to where you get good at the second part. And I know that sounds like simple advice, but it is the only advice. And if you try anything else, it won't work, right? That's the only thing that will work, is that if you do it consistently and you are actually good at it. Don't stream first, do YouTube first. You can do either one, bro. You can do either one. Pirate Software had like 5 years or something of streaming to 20 people, and then it hit when he had the shorts. You just gotta get the reps in. Big A, I got a job prospect coming up for me. It's a sales job that focuses on selling to contractors. Any advice in the second interview? You already made it to the second interview. So right now, you're in the part of the job where you need to not appear crazy. You're far enough along that the real thing you need to do is not disqualify yourself. They've already filtered past the part about qualifications, really, honestly. If you're in second round interview, it's mostly about personality and like making sure they vibe with you than if you're just outright not qualified. So I think you're good, bro. I think just go in, be friendly, be nice, eye contact, handshake, say you're willing to learn, say you're willing to hustle. I don't know, just get out there and do it. Tell them you like Game of Thrones way too much. Talk about Game of Thrones. You know, selling's a lot like Balerion the Dread. The Lannisters can sell. Let me tell you about that. H-Rock, I started as an in-house attorney at a company in January. A few days ago, I got another offer for the same position in another company with a 3% increase in salary, so I rejected. At what percentage would you say it's worth it to quit? That's a your call, bro. That's a your call based on your lifestyle. How much you want to make money, how much you want to spend, how happy you are with your current job, how much you like your boss and your coworkers and your employees and your chance of growth and all. You're giving me that information. What I will say is job hopping that quick is a little whack. It should be a bigger raise. Like if you just started and then you're instantly job hopping for a 3% raise, unless it sucks, you should stick out a little bit. H-Rock, I'm ancient, 30 years old. You're not ancient at 30. Obviously, you're not ancient at 30 because 30 is a very spry age. It's young, and you still have mesh life left to live. I wouldn't even consider yourself ancient until so much later. So much later. Do you know Jesus Christ was in his prime at 33? Kind of the best year to be, 33. Christ-like. Would you say you're physically declining? Be honest, please. This is actually a good question. I was talking about it with Lud the other day. Lud and I were playing basketball, and he was telling me about how we were talking about ages. People say they start feeling it. We're talking about ages, and he was like, yeah, Slime says 34. He started feeling old. Like it just, his body felt worse. And then Stan said 31. 31 when you start feeling it. Here's what I'll say, and I'm being dead honest with this. The trick to not having that realization is to live like a degenerate in your 20s and then get healthy in your 30s. Because I've never felt better, bro. I've never felt better in my life, and I'm not kidding. I feel healthier. I feel stronger. I just lived like absolute shit in my 20s and sat on my ass on the computer all day, hunched over, didn't go outside, didn't sleep right, didn't eat right. Like I live like absolute shit. And then now, in the past few years, I've taken care of myself, and so I feel like it's trending up. I feel better every year. So I'm not kidding. I swear to God, this is exactly how I feel. I feel the opposite. I feel much better. So the problem with Lud is he's in good shape. He's in his late 20s. He's in good shape. He's gonna have a generational fall off. He's gonna get a massive beer belly. His hair's gonna fall out. He's gonna feel old as shit and creaky. Ludwig at 34 is gonna be terrible, bro. But me, I'm set, dude. I'm blowing up. What happened with NVIDIA? Down $500 billion in a few days, which again is so funny because that's like to any other company. I want you to understand that $500 billion of value is like one Tesla. That is like Walmart, the corporation. But on NVIDIA's chart, it is this. The size is so fucking absurd. It's so insane. That's a Walmart of value. Do you understand that NVIDIA has added $2 trillion of market cap since like January of this year? That means in 6 months, they have added, I'm not kidding, McDonald's plus Nike plus Pepsi plus Coke plus Netflix plus ExxonMobil plus Walmart. That is how much bigger NVIDIA has gotten this year. It is unheard of historically. I mean, it's the speed of that level of growth. If nothing screams bubble to you, then nothing ever will. We'll see whether this holds. There's no telling whether this little dip holds, but if it is, I top ticked it. I will say, I'm not the only one because I looked at it, and insider selling of NVIDIA is at like a fever pitch. I mean, not just Jensen, like all the execs are dumping, bro. If the AI bubble pops, what happens to NVIDIA? NVIDIA's a great company. Here's one thing I'll say. I think Jensen Huang is the best CEO out there today. Got a sick leather jacket, actually knows what he's talking about, actually has engineering background, actually did not come from like the finance side. And I think he's great, but they're riding a bubble, dude. It's a bubble, in my opinion. That's my opinion. So I don't think NVIDIA will go anywhere, but I think, like Cisco didn't go anywhere. I think it's going to have to come back down to earth a little bit on price. Yeah, I saw that video of Jensen signing the woman's boobs. He's a rock star now. It's so crazy, dude. When I joined NVIDIA, no one in my family or extended family had ever even heard of the company. No one had heard of it. And now it's the biggest company in the world. He's signing boobs. That's crazy. That's crazy. That was the week I sold, yeah. No, I'm not recommending puts. I have no idea. No idea. Predicting anything in the short term in the market is a fool's errand, especially for someone who's not like working on Wall Street with access to the latest and greatest. How much did you make for NVIDIA stock? Great question. I made 13 cents. 13 cents, baby. Lock that in, and I'm putting that, holding that away. That is set up. And that's gains. That's clean gains. You know what I'm saying? 13 cents. Obviously, taxes will take some of that. Got to give Biden his due. But still, little A's college fund is already starting strong. I do think from a business standpoint, AI doesn't currently offer enough benefits as a product. Okay, I can't check your thing right now, but I agree that there are definitely some cool things AI is being used for. Some companies are finding solutions, but I'm seeing again and again, like for example, Microsoft was charging $30 per person per month for business licenses for their new like AI Copilot package, and they had to give all the big businesses that used it huge discounts to get it out the door. People are not seeing enough value to actually buy that stuff en masse, to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on it. And so we're reaching a point where somebody has to find a way to make money on this. And it can't just make your product a little bit better. It has to like be, people want to pay for it. Like outside of ChatGPT subscriptions, what are people paying for that has AI that they weren't paying for before? If no real revenue comes in, it's stock market hype. There has to be real revenue. Oh, there was a funny story though. There's always those stories of art competitions, and then someone enters and wins with like an AI art, and everyone's pissed off at them. There was a reverse. There was an AI art competition that a real person won. With this beautiful flamingo. It's a real, actual photo, and he entered it into a fake AI art competition and won. The first reverse. It's the John Henry of the fight against the AI machine. Humans on top, baby. It's like I work at a large supermarket chain in Australia on the data team. We had our yearly strategy day, and basically every project had been shifted into being some sort of AI project. For example, using AI to determine how long we should cook the roast chickens. Just seems a bit ridiculous at this point how much we're shoving all this into. It does seem a bit ridiculous. That's what I'm getting at. It's getting to the point of ridiculousness where everybody who has promised so much for AI is under pressure to come up with some reason, some rationale, some solution. and they're not finding it. It's just not material. It's like crypto. It's similar to crypto where it's like everyone promised crypto. It's going to change everything. It's going to change everything. And then nothing happened. Nothing really changed. It didn't shake up banking. It didn't replace how we buy and sell things. Nothing happened. It didn't change gaming, you know? And so AI definitely has a more viable future than crypto. Absolutely. It has real world impact, but it's clearly moving slower than we expected. It's just not quite there for use cases in the way everyone promised it would be. And I think it's fun to talk about that. I think it's interesting. My 50,000 person software company just had a hackathon and 90% of the projects involved AI, and almost all of them were glorified Excel spreadsheet automation disguised as AI. Yeah, I mean, again, the other thing is people just calling things that are not AI at all AI. That's another byproduct of this bubble, is like things that are just normal computer tasks. Anything being automated by a computer, which what computers already did, is being called AI when it's not. It's not artificial intelligence. It's not even artificial narrow intelligence. It's not even like ChatGPT autocomplete type. It's nothing. It's literally just like scripted algorithms. A few more things that didn't make it to this week's Marketing Monday that I thought you might be interested in. Number one, there is a legal battle over ice cream. Cold Stone Creamery, this is a fail on Cold Stone Creamery. It turns out they are selling pistachio ice cream with no actual pistachios. And so Cold Stone Creamery is being sued. The lawyer for the Cold Stone side basically said, do you expect when you buy Moose Tracks ice cream there to be actual Moose Tracks? Other food news, oranges. If any of you like orange juice, will get ready to pay more at the proverbial pump. There has been a lot of orange rot spreading through Florida and other orange growing nations, causing a huge increase in the price of oranges. Orange juice futures at all-time highs. Disease and extreme weather have combined to jack up the price of orange juice. And because people don't want to pay more for orange juice, one thing you find out when you're researching shit for Marketing Monday is that there is a real thing called the International Fruit and Vegetable Juice Association, and that it has a president named Keys Cools. This exists. This guy thinks about fruit and vegetable juice all the time and talks about it and gives interviews. According to him, this is a major crisis. He is freaking out. We've never seen anything like it. What they are planning to do is replace orange juice with other juices in the juice. So you might get half orange, half tangerine, or you might get an orange juice like this, where you look at the back and it's like mixed with apple and tangerine. So it all comes back to apple juice. Again, we are getting apple juice mixed with our juices again. Pretty soon, every goddamn juice we buy or smoothie is gonna be apple juice. You can't get away with it. And then one more food story I wanted to give. I don't have any slides for this, but Joey Chestnut was banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating competition, where he is the all-time, legend. He was banned because he took a vegan hot dog sponsorship. He wasn't going to eat them on the day, but he had a sponsorship. And Nathan's didn't want that. They wanted to maintain the integrity and basically promote Nathan's. People were pretty pissed off because they love Joey Chestnut. So in response, in what I'm calling a massive marketing dub, Netflix is launching their own special high-end Joey Chestnut versus Kobayashi face-to-face off live in-concert hot dog eating contest. They're gonna simulcast it across hundreds of millions of Netflix accounts globally and make it the biggest hot dog deal. I just want to say I'm very impressed because that was quick how they jumped on the opportunity and used it to make a big splash and a big marketing buzz for free. It's impressive. It's impressive. It's smart by Netflix. I just think it's really cool. So I give that a win as well. Glizzy hands. Oh my God, glizzy hands. Scale myself. And again, we've all shit on Netflix for many reasons, I'm sure, including the continual price increases. But I have to say, as time goes on, Netflix being the only streaming service, the only one that has figured out how to be profitable, is pretty impressive. Netflix is, again, the only one that can make any money off streaming. Everyone else, Disney Plus, HBO, they all lose money. And so for Netflix to be on top, #1 subscribed and profitable, they're doing something right. I have to give credit where it's due. It's something. Anyway, those are some of the bonuses. The other ones I actually could save for a future Marketing Monday because they're more evergreen. But that's that. I hope you enjoyed.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you could create voiceovers that sound like
A raspy old man.
A young teenage girl.
Or a guy with a different accent
all by your...
Yeah, this is interesting, I think.
Apps for fast food and food delivery to self-checkout and self-service kiosks. Your favorite grocery stores and fast food chains are changing fast. The Food Industry Association expects spending on things like smart carts and revamped self-checkout aisles to grow 400%.
Anyone use one of these? I've never seen this. I've never seen a smart cart. It just knows what's already in it.
Over the last decade, menu prices at most major fast food restaurants have out.
Mickey D's, bro. Look at that. Straight up 100% price increase. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Because 31% inflation is already really fucking high. And then raising it 70% more than that.
We're also investing for long-term growth in areas like digital and technology, as well as our transformation efforts within our global business services organization.
I think it's something like this is so interesting to me because this guy has dedicated his whole life to helping McDonald's squeeze out more profit. That is Ian Borden's purpose on earth, and he's like good at it. But I just wonder if he's fulfilled. I think there's a fulfilling in being good at your job, and obviously he's well paid. But when you talk like this, it's so robotic.
What's powerful about Caper is all the sensors on the device. So there's the camera sensors that look at the basket, there's the weights and measures certified sensor, and then there's the location sensor. And so what retailers are excited about is leveraging those sensors to make sure that they know exactly what's inside the shopping cart.
Man, finding how to scam these would be really fun. Like finding different ways to, I don't know, like trick the sensor into what you're putting in there and then walk out. Putting your purse down in the cart and having it yell at you. Yeah, interesting. So they just track everything in the cart so that you can just roll out with it, I guess?
Instacart also says the carts help customers stay within their grocery budgets.
By having the running total, they're able...
I assume the data is also interesting to them, like, you know, being able to track if a customer takes something out then puts it back. It's like, oh, what did they change their mind about, or, you know, like that.
We're also seeing that customers really love the deals, coupon clipping capabilities on the cart.
Once coupons are on, like everyone can get them with one click, they just won't offer them. I feel like coupons are a way to price segregate. So it's like they can charge different price to people who are less able to pay. And so if you take the time and effort to clip a coupon or whatever, it's like they can get you to still buy it. But they won't have it if it can just be everyone can do it on the thing.
And what it is, it's like having a digital coach in your pocket that helps our restaurant general managers identify areas that can continue to reduce costs of running a restaurant and really providing an overall better experience for it.
They have a fast food manager, ChatGPT, telling you what to do.
Its digital business is booming, with its digital sales accounting for 50% of sales in Q1 of 2024.
Maybe a week ago, we were trying to go out to dinner, and we're trying to pick a place on group chat, and then Lud was like, dude, I got this fire banh mi spot. I found a fire banh mi spot. It's amazing. We gotta go. So we all show up there, and I look in the window, and they're making pizza. There's like two guys, I'm just gonna say it, they're not Asian, and they're making pizza. And I checked the front. I'm there early. I checked the front. It's a fucking ghost kitchen that makes everything. There's like 42 restaurants out of this same building. And they're like, yeah, you could order banh mi. I mean, it's like all the different logos. It says like 42 logos, and it's all just made for Uber Eats delivery. Was it good though? We didn't eat there. We obviously didn't eat the world's most authentic banh mi.
We can go in and make sure that a customer comes into the app and feels a personal touch where we know their name, we store their credit card information, and make things easy to do.
Knowing my name is the first step, but I would love if it knew my greatest fears. I wonder if it knew my soul. I want you to harvest so much data that when I open my Pizza Hut app, it talks to my deepest yearnings and, you know, fear of not belonging or whatever. I want it to be like I want to write me a poem. I want it to know me better than me. I want my Pizza Hut app to ask why I didn't challenge myself today. You know what I'm saying? Or ask about my nightmares I've been having. Yeah, exactly. I want it to really, I don't just want a pizza. Or if it knows that I only order pizza when I'm feeling kind of depressed and need a pick-me-up, I want it to subtly depress me. I wanted to try and kind of bring me down and then offer me a pizza as therapy so that I buy more pizza.
With self-checkout, there are a lot more errors. People mis-scanning things. People maybe
Bro, people aren't mis-scanning. People are stealing, bro.
But the other issue is that while self-checkout is liked by some people, is absolutely hated by other people. It makes the customer do more of the work, and some people just don't like that, especially in a grocery store where you've got a lot of stuff to bag and scan.
The one thing I liked about the few years I lived in Europe was that the way town was set up, it was less likely that you would have to do these massive grocery trips where you would get like enough food for a fucking winter. You would often shop for a few days because it's just so close and convenient. You could even shop for that night.
We've seen ranges go from 18% higher through the use of kiosks up to 30 in some of our markets. And we think this is a win-win for both our customers and for them.
Me stuck in the corner of a party talking to this guy. Oh, dude, really? Wow, 13%? That's awesome. That's so sick, bro. I'm gonna go get a beer. You want it?
AI tech in shopping carts is being well received, but AI in drive-thru faces many hurdles.
Wait, I don't get it. Why do you have to go to the fucking front if you have a self-checkout cart? What's the purpose of it? You pay at cashier? Well then... Oh man, I feel like if you can't just check out at the front, that's crazy. They just get rid of...
Cook Unity is a direct-to-chef marketplace. Choose from hundreds of weekly menu items. Cook Unity, real food from real chefs, delivered fresh. Visit Cook...
The scanning? Is the scanning that overwhelming? Oh, that's crazy. That seems like such a small efficiency gain.
We do believe is that technology can play a really big role in empowering our team members to spend more time on valuable activities like spending time with the customer. And technology can help in areas that our customers really value. Things like improving order accuracy. While food prices do remain an important part of a customer's decision, we believe that the experience that they have digitally is going to be a key differentiator. Today, customers want more than just the meal.
Is he reading off a prompter or is he really that
personalized-
robotic? He's reading? I guess. I mean, it felt so weird and staged. Hey, Big A, I bought half a flat of blackberries. How do I eat them all before they go bad? Speaking of blackberries, I have nothing to tell you about your insane predicaments where you have to eat half a flat. What does that mean? I went to basketball on Sunday and we were playing with Connor Dog VA, and I think his first time seeing an orange ball, a ball that wasn't. He tried to kick it with his feet. After that, we go out to dinner, have a good time, and then decide to go to dessert. And the problem is, okay, I made a big stink. They wanted to go to an Italian place. And I was like, I like that Italian place, but I hate their desserts. And so I was kind of like rallying the troops to go somewhere else. But eventually the other place we went to go was close. We go back to the Italian place, we go there. And we get there and we finish our meal, and our meal's great. And then the guy's asking if I want dessert, and I was like, bro, I don't want the dessert here. We got to go somewhere else. We got to get like a good dessert. One of the first places I suggested for dessert, I was like, hey, there's this place where they take an actual lemon, they freeze it, then they scoop out the inside, and they put lemon ice cream in there, and you eat lemon ice cream out of a frozen lemon, and it's delicious. It's like phenomenal. And he had a face of actual disgust. And he was not interested at all. He was like, no, I would never eat that. He's like, the only way I would eat that, and this is, I mean, he was joking, but he did say this, is if they put beans in it. He wouldn't have it. So we had to figure it out. Anyway, we settle on a place. That makes pie. They're known for their pie. It's an LA place known for their pie. And we're like, okay, this is all a win. It's a little far, but it's walkable, so we don't have to all drive. So we walk all the way to this pie place, big group. We sit down. They let us in. It's a little, there's a lot of, it's not that busy, but there's people there. And we sit down there and we wait for 45 minutes. They don't send a single person to our table to even ask for water or say hi or anything. Connor's getting pissed and he's like he's like, is it rude? Is it rude to like go say something? We did say something. We went up there and we said something, but we can't get them to get us pie. Finally, we go to the front. We leave our table. We go to the front. We're like, hey, we would like some pie. Can you please give us some pie? And he goes, don't worry about it. Sit back down. It's like, don't worry about it. I got a guy on the way. Sit back down. Well, we are a little worried about it because it's been 45 minutes. We're just sitting. No one's even come by. So then we sit down, and now it's like coming up on, I mean, literally like midnight. It's getting late. And nobody comes. And eventually, we I don't know what time. We said 11:55. We're leaving. It's been too long. It's been like literally an hour 20. So we get up to leave. I decide I'm too hungry. I have to have some pie. So I get back in the line at the front. I'm just staring at the guy. I'm staring him down. Everybody else is walking out. I think they walk and go to the 7-Eleven next door or whatever. I sit in the line. I get all the way to the front. I go, hey, I would like some pie to go. And he's like, oh, you want us to go to your table? Where's your people? I'm like, they left. They f***ing left because nobody came by. I would like some pie, sir. And he's like, oh, okay, what pie do you want? I was like, I want blackberry pie. Give me a slice of your blackberry pie. And he goes, fine. Takes him literally 2 seconds. Because the pie is right there. They're not cooking it fresh. He just grabs the pie, cuts it, hands it to me. Takes him 2 seconds. We could have all had the pie. I'm furious. So I get the pie. I tip him 19% to let him know. To send a message, I tip 19%, okay? He will feel that. He will feel that 1% sting, okay? I walk outside. Everyone is waiting outside with their ice cream from 7-Eleven, which all looks fine, or their snackies. I open this thing. It is the most disgusting, not disgusting, it's the most mid-looking pie I've ever seen in my entire life. I take a bite, it's bad. My night is ruined. The worst pie ratio, it's like so clearly like a Costco pie that's been sitting there. It's like there's no, so that's my thought on Blackberry. And then anyway, then we walk back, and then I played basketball at 1 a.m. I got my ears all sweaty.
With 7 drive modes, Nissan Pathfinder can go pretty much anywhere. But it's not about where we go.
Did you guys see that Mr. Beast, we've joked about this like 40 times. Mr. Beast tweeted today, if we lower the age to president, I'll jump in the race, and got 417,000 likes. His next tweet. He makes a serious case that he's going to run for president, and then his next tweet is talking about how cool his Feastables bars are. Dude, this is so idiocracy coded. How old is he? He could not be president for another like 12 years. He is 12 years from being 35, which is when he would be. So he can't actually be president, and I don't think they're going to lower the age. What party would Mr. Beast run for? Bro, I've had this conversation like 10 times. I'm taking full credit. I have on this stream and on clips and on video said many times that we're going to have an eventual break of the two-party system, and it's going to be because of YouTubers. It's going to be from content creators. Content creators are the one thing that's going to break the monopoly system of the two-party system because they are finally getting too big to manage. It's not good for the country, by the way. But content creators are going to shake up the political system, and they're going to start making new parties and systems because they are finally too big. They have too much of an audience that can't, you don't have to filter it through CNN or whatever. They literally have such a direct to audience power. It's happening. And Mr. Beast tweeting about I'll be president. Sorry, I didn't get to finish his tweets. Let me show you one more thing on Mr. Beast's tweets, bro. This guy was talking to Dwarkesh Patel, who's an interviewer that I've recommended before, and said, just bet, Dwarkesh, that Mr. Beast will become president of the United States within 3 valid elections after he turns 35. 25 to 1 payout when I win. And then Mr. Beast says, can I take that bet? We're acting like it's so crazy. It could never happen. That a dude who reaches 100 million people a week and has a clean public image couldn't push for presidency. It's not crazy. And the content creators are only going to get bigger. We have to understand another thing that ties the story together. When I was working at Twitch, the biggest creators in the world, Gold Glove and Jericho and Mayanite, these people had like between 3K and 10K viewers. And 10K would be crazy. And they were the biggest. They were like amazingly huge. You know, if Kai Cenat woke up with 10K viewers, he'd kill himself. Nowadays, Kai goes live to 300K sometimes. The level of their reach is only getting bigger with time. The scale keeps getting bigger. Mr. Beast gets 100 million. Remember, like, I don't know, Ryan Higa or whatever. Like, what views did they get comparatively? It's nothing. But they were the biggest. It keeps getting bigger. The next Mr. Beast is going to be bigger than him. And these people are going to have the power to move politics. So that's what I'm saying. It's like that is the world we are entering in, where the permissionless aspect of content creation and the permissionless owning your audience is going to give people weird powers they didn't have. And it's going to break down some systems that we thought were untouchable, like the two-party system. I believe this. Kai streams frequently to more people that can fit in the largest stadium in the world. It's crazy. First VTuber president before female president. Hillary Clinton runs again, but as a VTuber. Holy shit. How long until we get a president doing OnlyFans? I don't think that's very likely, but it would make them money for sure. It's such a direct form of communication that people attach themselves in a way with which they don't very likely to be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're all going to be. I'm saying it's the same way that, like, you would have thought the chocolate market was untouchable until Mr. Beast started to show cracks in a 100-year monopoly. It's just the power of having that big of an audience and not having to go through established channels changes things. It changes paradigms that have been in place for a long time. The way TikTok has changed the music business to where, like, you don't need to go find a A&R rep and get scouted and signed. You just get to go viral on TikTok. Once you do that, then you have the leverage, and then the labels want you. It's just different. It's the way the internet has changed the power of middlemen. Would you vote for Mr. Beast? No, I wouldn't vote. I mean, I will never say never. In 9 years, he could become an entirely different person, and he clearly has incredible skill at what he does. But I don't know that he's 23. He's a 23-year-old whose entire life is devoted to making compelling mass market YouTube videos. So I don't believe that is the proper skill that I'd want. 50 State Squid Game would be a fire video. I mean, it would be so funny to see the State of the Union delivered on YouTube with a like and subscribe. I think it would be so funny, dude. It would be such a world. But yeah, like, listen, I don't think it... Obviously, I've said this before. My dream president is someone you've never heard of, who's had a quiet, long career in public service. Just a stand-up person with like 30 years of public service, who knows how the government works, knows the functions, is able to work with different parties. But like, that's so unlikely. It's so unlikely because what I've realized is that it takes a psychopath to want to run for president. It takes someone who is willing to have their entire personal life blown up. It's like a regular person wouldn't want the job. It's gonna make their family life harder. They have to be a little bit psychopathic, and that's the best you can hope for. Is that they're a little bit. You gotta be a narcissist. Streamers will crush this. Ludwig's gonna be a fire president, bro. Ludwig's gonna be a fire president. I swear to God. It's also, here's the other part. It's like, to be president, you almost have to lie because people do not want to hear the truth. That's another thing I'm realizing. It's like, neither party can tell the entire truth because people don't want to hear it. And if you tell it to them, you will lose. So only someone who can confidently lie to the public can win, which is tough. It's a tough situation to be in. And you can never, ever, ever, you can never say like, this is going to be short-term pain for long-term gain. Neither candidate in any elections I've seen has been like, hey, I'm going to do this. It's going to suck, but it'll be better for us longer term. Nobody will do this. Everyone will say, oh, my policies are going to fix things immediately, and they're great, and they're perfect, and there's no trade-off, and we're going to have this and this. It's always both. Nobody will ever say like, hey, this part's going to suck, and this part's going to be better. Milei and Argentina doing it? Yes, exactly. But he is only able to do this by first, number one, being a psychopath. A literal chainsaw-wielding psychopath. And number two, after decades of inflation and disaster and corruption, and the people are so desperate, they're finally like, okay, fine. But we're not there yet. America hasn't got there yet, and so we won't accept it. America will not accept short-term pain yet. We have to have we have to go through more disaster for us to be like, okay. It's like America would never have voted for FDR and the New Deal and all of that unless we had the Great Depression. That's the problem. FDR only got a chance to do what he did because we had so much disaster. They were like, fine, we'll try your crazy ideas. It's just a weird reality of the world where people won't accept it until they're forced to. America's a child. In a way. Is it a good idea to bet money in the election? How can you get good odds, bro? If you're gonna bet on Trump, it feels like you're like pennies in front of a steamroller. Trump is so favored. If you'd have done it before the debate, you could have got some money. But I think after the debate, it's like the betting odds are bad. You could bet on Biden dropping out, maybe. Still a chance of that, I guess, even though they're really locking in that he won't. If you can bet on Trump to win the Republican National Convention, that's like a guaranteed money. I don't see how we could ever lose that. So even though the odds are you get almost nothing, it's like guaranteed. It's crazy because I think the debate would change absolutely nobody's mind. I don't think people flipped who were already picking. Honestly, I think the biggest effect is it depresses one side. So much of American politics is about turnout. It's not even about switching other people's minds. It's about, we have a million people on each side. Who can we get excited to show up? Otherwise, they don't turn out. That's like the past two elections have been about that. And so the debate was a turnout killer for the Democratic side because they just don't feel excited. historically in American history, Democrats are more vulnerable to that. There's a saying that Democrats fall in love and Republicans fall in line, where like if you're not exciting for the Democratic ticket, people often just don't bother. Outside of the 2020 we have to beat Trump, like I don't think Biden was exciting to begin with, and then this was a really bad debate. What's been going on Reddit? People acting like the debate was no big deal and your MAGA had to think Biden did bad. That's not what I've seen on Reddit, but I'm sure there's different parts of Reddit. The general consensus he did bad, obviously. He just looks really frail and old, and people don't want their leader to be frail and old. Regardless, I mean, that's positions aside. That is for some people a deal breaker, and for others it's like a real negative impact. But at least, I mean, at the very least, I will say he did. In all his appearances since, has not looked that bad. When I say that bad, I mean as bad as the debate. Like, he's trying to show that was an aberration. It's just, when I used to play poker, there was a really good advice I read from a very, very good poker player. He said you have your A game, your B game, and your C game. When you're on your A game, that means you're in your flow state, everything's going good, you're playing great poker, it's amazing, you're making money. Then you have your B game, this is your day-to-day, your grind. This is what you're trying to get up. You practice to get your B game up, that's your day-to-day. And then your C game is when you're playing really bad, you're on tilt, and you're kind of losing money. You don't practice and grind and struggle and put your effort in to get your A game better. Your A game is generally already pretty good if you're a pro player. You need to get your floor up, because you lose most of your money on the C game. To put this metaphor back into what I was talking about, nobody running for president should have a C game that bad. Even on your bad days, shouldn't be that bad. If your floor is that low, do you understand? Like that's the problem. It's not that is his every day. He has had better days. He's had better days since. But his C game is scary to people. And they have a right to be scared. Your president is having, really bad days. Like, just can't finish a sentence. That's how I'm putting it. So, we have two bad options. I'm not like a secret that I'm voting for Biden in this situation, because I like the people around him. I like Lena Khan. I like the FTC. I like the people he's appointed. I don't want to get like Betsy Davos, and I don't want more Republican Supreme Court justices, and I don't want Rex Tillerson as Secretary of Energy. I don't want all the people that Trump appoints. Trump is a better poster, and he's funnier. But I think government is more than the president, and I don't like the people he picks for positions. Going into the debate, I saw Nate Silver's new polls yesterday. He's got Trump leading. He's got Biden narrowly winning the popular vote, but losing the Electoral College, like 70-30 on RFK down here at 7.6. I think right here's when he announced the brainworms. Went from 10 to 7. That was a crazy thing to mention. Why follow polls after 2016? They were generally accurate before. 2016 was pretty far off, and then they corrected. 2020 polls were much closer. They were much more accurate. 2020 is the same matchup. So I think there's a lot to learn from these. We checked out 538. So 538 is the old company of Nate Silver, and I think he sold it or got out somehow. So this is his new thing. The Zombie 538 is called. Is the only one. I wouldn't use that website. It's basically his methodology without me. Surely these polls are not true to the general public. These polls are weighted based on the state value of the electoral vote. So this is not popular vote. Popular vote has Joe Biden narrowly edging. Maybe he is edging, we don't know. As him narrowly ahead in popular vote, but because of the way the electoral college works, Trump is favored in most polls that I see, because he's gonna win more states. I'm voting for Kanye. I don't think Kanye's running, bro. I don't think Kanye's running, and I think voting for Kanye after he said, I like Hitler, after he outdid Alex Jones on his own show, that's crazy. I would unironically vote for Mark Cuban. Over these two candidates, I would vote for Mark Cuban too. Not even a question. If I was dreaming, I would love a world where we got like two sensible people you'd never heard of that just had long, steady, no-nonsense careers, knew the government in and out, and just wanted to help. That would be the dream. That would be the two candidates who are like experienced, knowledgeable, ethical, honest, with no celebrity backing or anything, but we're never going to get that. So of the world where we can only vote for like known celebrities and things, then I would vote Mark Cuban over Donald Trump and Joe Biden easily. I would vote Cuban Beast. Have we ever had that? I mean, I think Eisenhower was a great president. I think FDR was a great president. I think JFK was a good president. FDR had no legs, though. He He didn't have no legs. He had polio. He wasn't legless. He wasn't an elf. Eisenhower was a Republican. Yeah, don't say those are all Democrats. Eisenhower was a Republican. That's what I'm saying. The Eisenhower FDR era, it's just two people who at least like clearly cared, clearly knowledgeable, serious people. I'm sure there's many individual things you could agree with, but like the quality of them as serious leaders is so much higher than we get now. Is Eisenhower the one that slayed in that one pick? Is that how you remember presidents? By which one slayed in different picks? What are you talking about? Eisenhower slayed in that one pick? Oh, you know what? You're right, he did. Yas! He'd be a great streamer. I'll tell you, he's got the hair for it. He's got the smile for it. Sorry, Eisenhower, you were born too soon. Instead of being the president of the United States, you could have been something more important, a streamer. LBJ had a humongous hog. Why do you know that? Why do you not know that Eisenhower was a Republican, but you do know the hog size of LBJ? I hear a lot of discourse about the younger generation being more checked out and disillusioned enough to just not vote. As someone in their mid-20s, I feel like I don't really see that among my age group, and on the whole are more tuned in and willing to bite the bullet on Biden for no. I don't know about that second part. I mean, obviously, young people are, by and large, going to vote more for Biden, just based on stats. I guess I'm generally seeing, we look at the data, let's see. I think generally young people vote less, right? That's just a fact. We can see if they're voting less or not this election. Here is an interesting video.
Well, CBS News polling shows young people are much less likely to head to the polls in November than older people.
Here's one thing, and I've been guilty of this, especially back when I was like, I don't know, 25. I would be politically active enough to have an opinion and talk about it and make my point heard, and then when the actual day came around, I wouldn't register. I wouldn't get everything set up and go vote. I'm just telling you, I didn't do that. Now I do this, okay? Ever since Ari, I would actually vote. Here's the thing. I know that I'm not alone in that. I know that there are many people who are on Twitter right now or TikTok, and they're talking about voting, and they're talking about it, and they're not actually going to vote. That is definitely a part of it.
I think both of them aren't very, like, the best options for our country.
I mean, I agree, Queen, but say it with confidence. If everyone comes together to allow non-American borns to run for president, I will run for y'all. He's even saying y'all. He's a true American patriot. Please. Let's do it, folks! That's my Texan. Make America Swedish again. Holy shit! He's gonna speedrun fixing our problems, dude. What is Nate Silver's new website called? Bro, Google it. Low key, bro. Come on. You're asking me to go find the URL for you? You think you can't figure it out? You can't get to the bottom of that to Substack, bro. Twitch has not Google. You Google it and then you Nate Silver Substack. I'm Googling it right now. It's the first result, Silver Bulletin. It's the first result. You just told me I literally did Google it and tried searching. It's the first result. Right here, Silver Bulletin. Frustrating me, bro. It's not hard. It's exceedingly strange to have not made up your mind this election. I think it's kind of hilarious and based. I need to see more from Biden and Trump to get to know these people. I don't know enough about what they stand for. I think anyone who said they're undecided in the past elections really just don't want to admit they're voting Trump. There was a definite thing in like the 2016 elections where polling underrepresented Trump because voters were afraid to say that they openly supported him. That existed. But I feel like in 2024, that's got to be so much less. I feel like people are more open about it. If anything, there's a little bit of that for Biden. I feel like there's some people that are afraid to say they're voting Joe Biden because he's just so unpopular. I'm afraid to say I'm voting at all. Wait, really? Or because you should want to start a discussion. I mean, in America, it is difficult in America to bring up politics and have a normal discussion with regular people because every fifth person is like a time bomb. Every fifth person is like a grenade. And if you pull the politics pin, they just explode. And you've just blown up the conversation forever. They're just hiding among us. They're inelectrical. They're breaking the lights. You have no idea, dude. They're sus as it comes. I generally avoid non-economic political discussions. I've never seen anything outside of that go anywhere. I think it's like a value system that you have. No argument will change your value system. And I just get bored with it, dude. I get bored with discussing culture war stuff. But I think people can be swayed on economic stuff. And I honestly think so much of what we get mad about is downstream from economics. I deeply, deeply believe that Americans are more tolerant, they're better people when things are going well economically. when they don't feel stressed. I think everything goes smoother and we make progress on everything. I think culture war stuff flares up as like it's like when you're hungry, you're angrier at your significant other. You know what I'm saying? When you're hungry and sleepy, you might snap at your partner. I honestly feel like that is what happens. Where hungry and sleepiness is equivalent to us not having like the ability to afford housing and to have all of our wealth siphoned off by billionaires. Bro, from the UK, as much as your politics is terrifying, I can honestly say it's so much more entertaining. Entertaining for sure. I mean, UK politics is kind of crazy lately. I've been more interested in it. The conservative meltdown has been funny to watch. Rishi Sunak is one of the most dunkable people in the history of politics. We in Germany are I mean, I do think the rise of like AFD stuff is crazy in Germany. Again, I can see the causes and I can see the through line, but it sucks if they go that direction. What if we got everyone in the US to just not vote? Would it go to a revote or some sort of Squid Game situation? Our Constitution at the bottom in fine print, it's like, if nobody votes, go to a Squid Game situation. John Adams pinned that shit. The one thing about Rishi is he's not 70. Our next PM is going to be 61. That feels too old. You think 61 is too old? 61 would be a spry young chicken. 61 would be a prime athlete, dude. 61 would be so young in America. 61 would get bullied for being a child when they showed up to Congress, bro. They'd laugh at him. They'd be like, hey, little bro. Why are they so old, though? That's a great question. I mean, I do think both Biden and Trump are way too old. Oh, yeah. Has Trump announced his VP yet? Did I miss that? Who's Trump's VP this go-around? Not yet. The GOAT doesn't need one. Trump runs solo. No VP. Don't need one. Logan Paul, that'd be good. The Trump Logan Paul. Hey, man, who do you think Trump's VP is going to be? My mom. You think my mother is going to accept? She's not even a fan of Trump, and she's going to accept his VP. The money, it's not even a highly paid position. The grift. My mom is going to become Trump's VP so she can grift the American public? You know her. She's very sweet to you. Why would you say such a thing? How can I mute it? Do you have more stuff to say about my mom that you want to say off camera? That's very mean.
A lot of people feeling inflationary pain. They're feeling pain about the economy.
Yeah.
Georgia's now a swing state.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And I just wish Democrats and Biden had a better messaging on why Trump's proposed policies will in no way help. And just the fact that he was a president in a different year when we didn't have inflation is not credibility to the fact that he's going to bring it back there. I think it's so crazy people think that Trump's going to get in office and then McDonald's prices are going to go down to where they were in 2016. I think that's a crazy thing to think, but people think it. People legitimately think that he's going to get in the office and just turn the dial on his desk back to low McDonald's prices. Am I stupid, or is it all the money printed during the convention? It was, to be clear, both. I'm not being Mr. Centrist here. We've printed an absurd amount of money in both administrations. But yes, I mean, the money supply drastically increased under Trump, and then I would hope it would go less during Biden, but it didn't really. It kept printing. That is a big part of it. Inflation is also a global issue, though. It wasn't even just America. You got to fully understand that the COVID response was an absurd amount of printing from countries globally, and every country is experiencing inflation outside of China, which is minor inflation. Not Japan. Japan's having inflation. Bro, Japan begged for inflation for 20 years. Now they got it. Now they can't handle it. Japan's in trouble. Bro, the yen bounced off 160 again today. They can't defend it. They keep trying to do these surprise purchases of yen with their reserves that the Japanese bank has to try and scare speculators off of betting against the yen. They keep going back. It's getting weaker and weaker. If you know anybody that lives and works in Japan, ask them. They will tell you how much it sucks. Getting paid in yen right now sucks. So it's a global problem. That's what I'm saying. It's a global problem. To say like Biden pressed a button or something and made McDonald's more expensive is crazy. I live in Korea, I get paid in USD, and I vacation in Japan regularly. I feel kind of guilty over how cheap it is. I don't think you should feel guilty because tourism income is one of the best ways to help, actually. But I think they are getting annoyed that the amount of tourism in Japan is gone through the roof because of this. You know, it's just that many tourists is annoying, but it's good for the economy. Not as always France. Dude, the amount of Americans going on vacation right now is like record highs, which is normally a sign of a good economy, which is interesting. I do think it's theories I've seen is more of that people are, you know, when you interview, ask people about it, they're like revenge spending or doomer spending, which is the idea that, hey, I can't get a house, so instead I've got all this money, I'm going to start using it on vacations and experiences, or they're doing it on credit. Here's the other thing. There's a lot of people going to Europe. American tourism to Europe is like at record highs. Airports are bustling. Is it because all the boomers with all the wealth are retiring? No, it's more than just boomers, bro. Travel spending is up, just in general, across the board. People are traveling, but part of it's credit, part of it's revenge spending, and in general, you know, we haven't had a increase in or a rapid increase in joblessness in America. There is like a sort of a white collar, you could call it, job recession right now, where people are under the hood finding they can't get good, sustainable career work, but people have jobs.
This is a real B&H birthday story. We've been known for our customer service since 1973. Looking good, fellas. And today we're 50. In 5 decades, we've watched creativity transform from 8mm to 8K, from dark rooms to digital.
Do you have any opinions on economic history? I call it economic herstory, so sorry, you sexist pig. For example, how much do we know and how certain are we of historical economies? How much of economic theory is just theory? What have we seen in practice versus what are we still debating about? No tangible evidence to show for it. I think they've, you know, like if you're trying to find the economy of the Roman Empire, they don't have good historical record keeping, but they've done a pretty good job estimating and theorizing and using the evidence they have. Economic history is very fascinating. A really good book I read was called The Haves and Have-Nots, and it goes through inequality in different societies throughout history and explains in detail the methodology used. Actually, too much detail. I got bored. I was kind of skimming the detail parts because honestly, he would spend pages and pages explaining how they proved why it was. I was like, just tell me what you got to. I want to know. I trust you, bro. I trust you. If you're interested, read that book. Give it a shot. But I'm promising you, you might not find it interesting. Like there was like parts of every chapter I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. And then the rest of it I found to be quite dry. So your call. But the book I've been reading, which is like a complete economic history of America, is actually way less dry than I'm getting pumped. I'm getting pumped, dude. Debate time. USA. People are not allowed to discuss kilometers or Celsius in this chat. This is America Day. All Europeans need to pretend to be American. You can pick which part of America you want to pretend to be from. You can American roleplay. I love core dogs. What the is a kilometer? I want to be from Dakota. Dakota? Pick. It's North or South Dakota. It's like you just did the three-finger German thing in Glorious Bastards. I'm from Dakota. God bless my gun. All right, now you're getting it. Where's my credit card? Finally, you're getting into the spirit. Where's my credit card? Where's my gun? Now, finally, dude. Widen that highway. This highway's only 8 lanes? It's too thin. Get it wider. And I need a McDouble. More parking lots. One more lane will fix it. True Americans know we don't say, I want a Big Mac anymore. We say, why the hell is the Big Mac so expensive? I used to be able to get a whole McDonald's meal for my family for $14.99, and now it's $30. What the happened? That's what Americans say, bro. And then the next Americans say, get the app. Yeah, the next Americans say, it's actually cheaper if you get the app. You don't know. In fact, buying McDonald's without the app is like a tax on an idiot. And then next people say, okay, but this is just me. Okay, but you understand that McDonald's is training you to get on the app so they can have you as an individual consumer with no ability to see what other people are paying. And that their long-term plan is to raise prices and charge individual consumers more or less based on their ability to pay. That is the entire purpose of the app, is to make you trained so you're not going to buy in person at a place where everyone can see the same price. That's illegal? It absolutely isn't. It absolutely is not. In fact, I believe it was struck down. They do that with airlines all the time. It should be illegal. Wait, low-key, I feel like it's good because they scale it so much, rich people pay more. That's what I thought too. But actually, in fact, it is the opposite. It's actually the opposite because rich people have more options. For example, Staples did this, where they had discounts through the website, and it was in rich neighborhoods, a all of the staples supplies were cheaper because they had more places to go. But in areas where it was only one place to go, they actually rose the price. In practice, places where you have fewer options charge you more if they can hide the price. If they can find a way to localize the price just to you or just to your location, they will charge as much as possible, and they charge less in rich neighborhoods than rich people. It's shockingly different than you think. Yeah, I thought it'd be like, okay, well, at least it means like rich people pay more, poor people less, but it's not. I know for a fact that Uber is overcharging me on Uber Eats. I know for a fact, dude. I know that, like, algorithmically, I have never declined because of price. So I know that they are maximizing the price for me. But I know that if you're a user who is constantly, like, checking the price and declining and backing out of the order, they will show you a lower price. But I'm never declining. And so I know for a fact they just keep creeping it up for me. I know it. It's gotten ridiculous now. Now I am finding alternatives. My algo is terrible for Uber Eats. He's a streamer, double it. Somebody in chat said you're just picking up personal anecdotes, and I wanted to say that you're a fucking idiot. So I'm just gonna bring up one of the many articles I have for this thing I've been working on, which is about all the technology and strategies for pricing, and then how many companies are doing this, including Uber Eats, okay? To raise their prices based on your ability and willingness to pay. All right, so just shut the fuck up. I never, ever just make something up, bro. I've at least read it somewhere from some source. It's so annoying. I get, people are just so stupid in YouTube. They're just like, oh yeah, it's so annoying to me. I literally read this stuff every single day of my entire life. I wake up and I read it every day. And again, not all of it is eventually proven true, eventually something, but it's just so, people act like it's out of nowhere. Highlight them so we can send death threats. Let's not do that. Let's calm down. Let's relax. Let's ease up, bro. Let's relax. H-Rock, I'll be president someday. This chat will go down in history. All right, put this in the clip. Put this in the clip, dude. Incoming caller is going to be president. On 6/17/2024, you said, Atrioc, I like to shoot up heroin. Ka-chow. Based. He's got my vote. You got the drug addict vote and the Cars fan vote.
Affordable health insurance plans. Lowest prices, easiest process. Get your free quote now.
Unlock incredible deals and explore the best selection of musical equipment at Sweetwater. From stage to studio and everything in between, Sweetwater has everything you need to take your sound to the next level. Don't wait. Shop now at sweetwater.com.
Hey, Big A, I work at a tech company. I'm being told by leadership I'm doing a good job. Everything is a metric, and I'm hitting all my marks. The thing is, I low-key do jack at my job, and I'm somehow hitting their expectations. How do I know if they're secretly planning on firing me? It sounds like you're fine. Unironically, this is like very average tech culture. Maybe it's a bit of a holdover from a bygone era. Changing. But this is like many office jobs, bro. It's just the way it is. And the fact that you're paranoid about it, not blissfully ignorant, is your only problem. No, you're probably gonna get fired. You should quit. Yeah, you should quit. You should quit before they fire you. Did you see the thing in this guy? 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in Austin. Work from home culture here is strong. Bunch of tech PMs work from home, dude. Is quit before they fire you an actual thing? Is it better? No. Bro, if they